So welcome back. Bienvenidos de nuevo to Dennis Sustainable Kitchen. I'm Dennis. And today I'm making also known as orange juice, jugo de naranja. But I'm not just asking how much did each orange cost. I'm asking a different question, a better question. What does what does el jugo cost us when we factor in money, waste, y sabor? This is the DSK way of true cost accounting, where we're not just talking about the list price. Just like when you purchase a brand new car, there's the sticker price and then there is the final price. However, a dealership breaks down all the additional fees and markups that you're going to pay. With the as purchase price of food, it's not just a sticker price. I'm looking at how much juice am I going to get out of this after I factor in the peel, the pulp, how much labor it took, how fresh it is, and then whether or not conventional or organic changes or influences that decision. But let's face it, in the kitchen, in our business, big, enormous, or everything in between, cheap is not always cheaper. So what do I mean by that? Si la fruta is dry, out of season, bland, gives me less juice, the lower price might actually not be the better value. O como decimos, lo barato compras cada rato. But right now, I'm working with navel oranges, which, you get the little navel, right? I think it's the orange that most of us are familiar with, find it year round. But I also still have the last of the cara cara orange. So what's the difference? They have this darker color versus the navel. This hue is more of those antioxidants, same nutrients you find in carrots that are promote better eye health. At the same time, it makes them a lot sweeter than your typical navel orange. Now, the cara caras go for $18 for a 10-pound bag. A little steeper. They have a flavor that you can't find year round. And because it's sweeter, you can think of it as a sweetener for different dishes. And then, of course, your navel is your orange juice, but it's a lot tangier. But let's talk about the juice. In other words, do I want tangy, fresh orange juice, or do I want sweet, fresh orange juice? Or do I want a mixture? So cara cara oranges, generally speaking, are sweeter than your typical navel. And that's because they have carotenoids, which are the same nutrients that you find in carrots. And so navel oranges, of course, have a tangier flavor, and it's what you find year round. Hence, why they're typically a bit more affordable, regardless of if they're conventional or organic. So the key for Money Way Sabor is not comparing the orange only by price per pound or price per orange. I want to compare cost per usable. So we're going to be tracking the purchase price, the waste, the yield, the final volume. I paid $20 for 20 pounds of organic navel oranges, but I also paid $18 for 10 pounds of cara cara.
Perfect. So you've got two sets of data, $20 for 20 pounds of organic navel oranges and $18 for 10 pounds of cara cara oranges. We'll track the cost and yield for each type to compare the true cost and efficiency of juicing them.
As I'm cleaning these up, the question I often hear is where organic and conventional comes in. The one better than the other? Does one taste better than this? And should you buy organic? And that really has no definitive answer when it comes to Money Way Sabor. As an example, if I'm going to be using the peel for zest, marmalade, cocktails, or anything in between where the rind goes into the food, organic or a very trusted low pesticide farmer may be the way to go. But if I'm peeling the orange and using it just to make juice, then giving the rind, the peel, a nice rinse of a conventional orange can reduce a lot of that residual pesticide on the surface level.
For juicing, peeling the oranges and giving them a good rinse can help minimize surface pesticide residues. This makes conventional oranges a more economical choice if you're not using the peel, balancing cost and quality effectively.
Now, one thing to note, though, is just by removing the rind, washing off the residue, does not make a conventional orange exactly the same as organic. Organic still has a cleaner sourcing choice. And that means if your goal is to reduce synthetic pesticide exposure as much as possible, then organic is the only way to go. So my answer is it's not fear-based, it's decision-based, practicality-based. We each have our own individual needs, business needs, volume needs.
Exactly. It all comes down to informed decision making based on your specific goals and context. If reducing synthetic pesticide exposure is a priority, organic is the clear choice. But if you're focused on cost efficiency and you're not using the peel, conventional can be a practical option. It's all about aligning your choices with your values and needs.
So if organic oranges are higher quality when it comes to sabor and yield, and it doesn't come with this extreme organic tack, I'll choose organic.
That makes perfect sense. If organic offers better flavor and yield, and the cost difference isn't prohibitive, it's a solid choice, especially when using the peel. It's all about maximizing value across money, waste, and flavor.
Okay, so one thing I always look at is how can I optimize my steps when I'm trying to do something, whether it's to produce batch food, batch juice, in this case, batch costing. So we've come to that first fork in the road. My oranges are peeled. Now I have all the peel. So I need to weigh that. So,
Next step, weigh the total peel to get a precise yield.
okay, so when it came to peel, which most consider waste, we have 2,184 grams. Now, of course, here at home, there's only so much zest and maybe simple syrup I can make. But if in a restaurant, business, bar, simple syrup for your pastries, desserts, cocktails. Okay, so now we have our edible portions of our oranges, right? And what I mean by fork in the road here is I'm going to juice it. So I'm still going to remove pulp and fiber. But say, for example, I wanted to use this in a salad, then I'm not using that today, but at least I have already that yield, that cost that I can cost it to here if I need to do a recipe down the road. Maybe I want to do an orange and fennel salad, for example. Well, I already have my rough estimate or cost that I've calculated with the orange. So it'll save me a step in the future. Another thing I do if the prices of oranges skyrocket for some reason, and instead of throwing it in the juicer, dice it and I blend it. So I make the green base, freeze that, and then I'm keeping the pulp, meaning the fiber, the vitamin C, and everything in between.
That's a smart move. By blending and freezing the whole mixture, you preserve all the fiber and nutrients, and you get a concentrated base for smoothies, dressings, or even a citrus infused sauce. That way, you stretch the value even when prices spike.
So at home, this is fine because I'm paying for Sabor. I'm paying for the quality of the orange. Now, in a restaurant, you also have to factor in your labor costs. In, let's just say, an institution, corporate dining, where you're feeding or going through thousands of pounds of oranges, you're thinking of volume at a much larger scale, where you're looking at consistency, procurement, the waste, and who you are serving. So it's the same orange, just you need to factor in a different decision.
Exactly. In a restaurant or institutional setting, every step, labor, yield, consistency, needs to scale efficiently. That might mean opting for conventional oranges if they're more predictable in supply and cheaper at scale. So, process, it's all about balancing quality with operational realities.
So as caracaras come out of season, right? If I've been serving only caracara oranges over the winter and you've been a recurring customer and buying orange juice and it's sweet, all of a sudden I'm going to be going to this very tangy juice. What happened as a customer, right? Now, the thing is, maybe you can transition slowly, like the seasons, blend it so you don't notice that completely sweet to sour switch. That's a way to go. Slowly get your regular customers used to or understanding the change, right? So again, there's logic of when it comes to money waste sabor. Sabor is great, but when it comes down to it, there's no money. How can you have sabor? So a quick culinary medicine tip, not medical advice.
Both types of oranges provide a solid dose of vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber. So no matter which you choose, you're adding immune boosting nutrients to your diet.
But again, when it comes down to waste, well, what else can be wasted? The moment any fruit, any vegetable is picked from its natural environment, so in this case, it's picked from the tree, that clock of degrading nutrients begins. And the moment you peel an orange and expose it to oxygen, you expedite that process. So this is where freshness matters. And if I want to retain the nutritional value as much as possible, if I'm not going to have the juice right after this, freeze it.
Exactly. So if you're not using the juice immediately, it's best to keep the fruit whole or peel and freeze the segments right away. That preserves the nutrient density and minimizes waste in both flavor and nutrition.
All right, so now it's time to juice and then we'll get the yield. Be right back. All right, so we got roughly 2 liters of juice. Now, let me go ahead and weigh it so we can get a liquid volume, and then I'll give you the vessel weight too. Here is the juice plus the vessel weight at 2,262 grams. And on the vessel, it says roughly
That's roughly 1.76 liters of juice. So we've got a solid piece.
I'm going to give you the weight of the container, and the container weighs 560 grams. Now, whenever I do this for a business, I always assume it's not always going to be 100% because I'm not always doing the job, or especially if I scale. So it's why I left 2 oranges out.
That buffer helps you account for inefficiencies, whether it's crop loss, spillage, or scaling challenges. By costing it on the actual yield you got, you have a more realistic baseline.
So the juice, we started with 22 oranges. I juiced 20 to factor in inefficiencies. So give me the price per orange, price per 100 milliliters, price per fluid ounce.
You yielded 1,702 grams of juice for 20 oranges. Assuming 1 gram is approximately 1 milliliter, divide total juice by 20 oranges to get 85.1 milliliters per orange. Once you have that, multiply by the price per orange to get per 100 milliliters and per fluid ounce. Then scale up for an 8 ounce 240 milliliter portion.
So what is the final price?
So each orange costs $1, and scaling up, you get about 118 per 100 milliliters, 35 cents per fluid ounce, and 283 per 8 ounce serving.
So there you go. For every 8 ounces, I'm drinking roughly $2.85.
That gives you a solid baseline for costing. So as long as you keep track of other overhead, you know that each 8 ounce portion lands at about $2.85.
So I guess the question now from here is, your business, you got to factor in your labor and the cost of your to-go containers. And then you get the value for your customer. So let's just take a simple example. Remember, I peeled the oranges. They're ready to be juiced. And I'm your customer. I walk up to your cashier and order a juice. And then it took 10 minutes from the moment I paid to get my juice. So you have to factor in those 10 minutes of labor, whatever that is, even if the juice only took 2 minutes. Now, me as the paying customer having to wait 10 minutes and seeing the employee taking their time, I may not walk away feeling the greatest in value because it took forever. Then on top of that is the Sabor grade. Maybe the oranges have no flavor. And now not only am I getting Sabor that is not there, I wasted 10 minutes of my time, wasted my money. Let's just say you charge me $10 for the juice. I'm not going to feel I got the value of my $10. Now, if you're on the business side, if you have 3 customers in line, you only have that one employee. Now, say the 3 customers all ordered orange juice, then your employee can make portions of orange juice maybe in 10 minutes. And then you spread across the cost when it comes to the customer, because one customer is going to weigh it a little bit less than the other, but they're all going to get the same product. In terms of money wise, it was more efficient. So you saved money when it came to labor.
Exactly. So the key is balancing that efficiency with customer perception. So the next step is really testing those timing efficiencies and seeing how it affects both labor cost and that customer perception.
Okay, so with all said and done, I started out with 22 oranges, or roughly 5.58 kilograms. And after peeling, juicing, I ended up getting 2 liters of juice. So now the question changes not to how much were the oranges. The question becomes, what did the juice cost per glass?
Exactly. Now that we have the total yield, 2 liters, we multiply the total cost, which is $20, by the number of servings. If a glass is, say, 8 ounces, 240 milliliters, then you have about 8 servings per 2 liters. Divide 20 by 8, and you get $2.50 per 8 ounce glass.
So here at home, that's the end of the story. But if you're a business institution, now you got to add in labor, storage, spoilage, menu price, takeout price. So that's why true cost accounting matters. It helps us see what's beyond the sticker price. A more expensive orange may be worth it when it comes to flavor, freshness, hyper locality, better yield.
Exactly. True cost accounting gives you that full picture. Lets you set a price that reflects real value, not just a short-term margin, and you stay competitive without cutting corners.
So organic may be worth it when it comes to peel use, sourcing values, pesticide reduction are your priority. Conventional, however, may still be a practical choice when it is fresh, washed, peeled, affordable, flavorful, grown around the corner. So my takeaway is simple. Do not make the decision only from the label. Do not make that decision only based on sticker price. Make it from the whole picture: money, waste, and sabor. In the next segment of this experiment, if you call it, or logical experiment, I'm going to go deeper into the behind the scenes of what actual true cost accounting looks like. In this case, the true cost accounting just behind simple navel orange, and how the same thinking or different perspectives changes when you move from your in-home kitchen to a restaurant to a multi-thousand person population that you're feeding every single day. Because once you cost that juice correctly, you start seeing food differently.
I'm looking forward to that deep dive.
So to put it shortly, cheap, más barato, is not always cheaper. Si la fruta está seca, bland, gives you less juice, the lower price may not be the better value. That is why I do not cost juice just by the orange. I cost it by the usable yield, the flavor, the waste, sometimes the uncomfortable truth behind the context of where your product came from. That's where everything comes together: money, waste, y sabor.